All right, guys, welcome to the Old Glory Red Report. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down this Saturday's crucial match against the Portland Timbers 2. It is an away game. We'll talk about everything that you need to know about this game coming up right after this. All right, guys, welcome back to the Old Glory Red Report, a supporters channel by the supporters for the supporters. Now, we're coming off a big last-minute win at home at Papa Murphy's Park. It was a great game, 1-0 win against Austin. But our opponent this week, Portland Timbers 2, also has a share of first place with us and two other squads. Still early in the competition, but still. And they're coming off quite the win themselves. A 3-2 come from behind win against Oklahoma City.
It was very dramatic.
Yeah, 3 goals in the last 22 minutes of the game, so they sneak a 3-2 victory out of the jaws of defeat. Casey.
OKC's been a very good team too, so to come back and get the points against OKC, like we kind of talked about a little bit, OKC's kind of been on both ends of that last minute winner, so they've
Up
been
and down for their fans, huh?
Yeah, but this Portland team, this is a team that I think is going to be pretty good. At the start of the season, I wouldn't have said they were going to be top of the league at this point, but they are, and they've been scoring some big goals and some big numbers. 3 games out of the first 5, they've scored 3 goals or more.
Yeah. And another consistent thing about them is that they've been one of the more consistent 2 sides in USL competition over the last few years. They've been a thorn in our side.
Yeah.
They've consistently been a playoff team. So it is a team every year, even though some of these second teams have their ups and downs, they've been able to consistently stay above in the top half of the table. So just another thing that when you play the Timbers 2, you're always going to expect a good game.
Yeah, and they're a team that, they're a club that actually feeds their top club very well as well. I think they're a club that actually supports their club, the MLS club, and does it right. I don't think we'll see that big drop down like we saw against Tacoma Defiance 2 weeks ago, on Monday of 2 weeks ago, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I think this will be a game that we'll be a little more prepared for. We'll go into it a little bit better than we did against that last away game.
So again, they're sitting on 10 points, as are the Sacramento Republic. So a good start to the season for both teams, sitting at 3-1-1 through 5 matches. Now the other 2 teams that have 10 points also have 1 more match played. So you can kind of say this is the default first place game for the early part of the season as we enter April. This is probably the last month of games before the weather starts to really turn, especially in the Western Conference. A lot of teams are in not just the West, but like the Southwest too. 2 New Mexico teams, the teams in Texas.
The heat is gonna rise.
Yeah, so, like we've talked about before, yeah, it's super early, but you always want to be on top and not chasing teams ahead of you. Like last year, we talked about how Republic was behind 6, 7, 8 in the standings, always trying to claw their way up. Got up to second, but still was kind of a grind, right? So it will be a nice early season test, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is a Portland team that has seen 12 goals go in for them, but has also seen 8 goals go in against them. So they've been putting it in the back of the net, but their defense is a little sketchy too. I think this is a team that we actually might see us do well from set pieces and corners on, just because our guys have that little bit of girth over them, I think, overall, and the experience. I think this is going to be a good game for us from set pieces and corners.
Yeah, and they have not been shut out, and they've also not been able to keep a shutout. So I think we can expect some goals to be scored in this game.
Absolutely.
They're definitely vulnerable in the back with giving up goals, like you said, but they are very good in the middle. And that's kind of what I wanted to get to. They have 2 guys in the middle that are crucial to their team's success. Because of their 12 goals, it's spread out. Yeah. Their leading goal scorer has 2. They have 4 players with 2 goals. So it's really not coming from one particular source. Like so far, we've been really reliant on Cameron Iwasa, with his 5 of our 8 goals. Yeah. But they have, I think they have 8 different goal scorers, maybe 7 different goal scorers. I could be wrong there, but still, a bunch of guys are scoring 1, 2 goals. But we really need to take a look at Renzo Zambrano. He plays the 6 for them. He is extremely vital to everything they do. 337 passes he has completed. He's averaging 68 passes per game, which in comparison, our highest player is averaging somewhere between 25 and 30 passes per game. Now, everything runs through him. Not only is he spreading the ball out, 73% on his long pass accuracy, and his accuracy overall is 88%, which is an extremely high number for somebody that attempts between 67 and 68 passes per game.
Yeah, and you're going to see this guy be a very crucial part of the team, but we can't put out that they've gotten goals from everywhere, like you said. And for a team to get goals from all over the field and not rely on one guy, that's really what you want. So that's a great talking point for them.
Yeah, and not only that, but he's also earned 18 fouls. He commits a lot of fouls too. He's committed 12. But he is definitely central to everything that team does offensively, spreading the ball out. He has 6 key passes in addition to all those numbers. So this guy is obviously somebody that, playing that 6 role, if it's a Wassa playing the 10, if it's Villarreal, we really got to stay on top of him. We don't want him being free to spray those balls around the field. The other guy I really want to talk about is Eric Williamson, their attacking midfielder. 5 assists on the season so far, which leads the team by far. Their next highest has 1 assist. 10 key passes as that number 10 role. Very creative player. He's definitely spraying the ball around. So the key to this game, man, is controlling the midfield. That central midfield, Zambrano and Williamson, it's everything that this team does.
Really dominating the middle of the park on this game like you talked about. It's owning possession, it's controlling the pace of the game, and it's really dominating or putting our game on them on this one. I think they're a team going forward, like you said, is going to be very dominant. They're going to try to hold the game. They're going to try to spray balls forward. So it's going to really be taking that middle of the park to them.
Yeah, I think, obviously we don't know who's going to be playing, but a guy like Ray Sari is going to be crucial in this game to stop a guy like Eric Williamson. And you want your defensive midfielders to cut out these passes, these incisive balls. I think if Skundrich starts, and I think he will. I think he's going to be the man employed to kind of be the shadow on Zambrano, because Zambrano's going to be the deeper lying player. We know Skundrich can cover a lot of ground. The key for Skundrich is going to be to close the ground on him and to not commit fouls, because Zambrano, like I mentioned, he has taken 18 fouls in 5 games. That is a ton of fouls. He knows he's a crafty player. So
quick on his feet, can make movements.
Yeah. So when you watch this game, take a look at that midfield triangle. No matter who the 3 players are for us, Zambrano and Williamson will need to be stifled.
Yeah, and this is a team that can play the pitch. They can play out right, they can play out left, they can play down the center. They possess the ball and they move it around quite well, so they can play the whole pitch. So we're going to have to be on alert when it comes to the back line and that center of defensive mids.
Yeah, absolutely. Asperia usually plays on the right wing. He didn't play last game, but he is a guy that has 2 goals and assists for them. He's a quick player. We've seen him before. He scored against the Republic before. He can be a handful at times. So whoever the left back is, whether it's McCrary, Tainer, if it's Shannon Gomez thrown out there on that side, whoever it is, we'll have to keep an eye on that speed out there too.
Absolutely. So what are you thinking about us going forward on this one? What do you think the lineup's going to be?
Yeah, so for me, Bijev and Blackwood haven't been good enough on the wings so far.
I would agree.
I don't know why Werner hasn't been starting the last couple games, but for me, he needs to be back in the 11.
100%.
I need to see Sam Werner in this game, because even when he came in as a sub this last game, I thought he brought something. He brought something that Bijev wasn't supplying during that game.
Bijev's just been a touch off, so.
And I mean, honestly, man, Werner just might be a little bit more physically gifted in terms of his speed and his strength. He's a tough guy to get off the ball. And I don't know, when you watch the game, I just feel like there's more of like he could do something in any given moment, maybe than some of our other wingers to date. Now, it doesn't mean that's going to carry on forever, but for me, he's the most informed winger we have. He should start.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I don't think Blackwood has done enough, like you talked about as well. So I think he will get the start, but I don't think he's been there, so I hope to see more. I want to see Iwasa go back into the 10 role. We kind of talked about that in the post-match video.
And then have
Bonomo back up top. I would like to see Warner back in. Like you said, he's been terrific. I don't see why he's not starting. He deserves to start. He's been just one of the better players on the pitch for us. I believe it'll be Blackwood over on the right as well. I think he'll be back in the game. The coach seems to like him. He does well at creating some space over there and getting up the wing, so I think he'll be back in it as well. What do you think on the back line? Do you think we go with more of like a Harris, Kanan?
Well, before going there, I want to see Bonomo start.
Okay.
I want to see Iwasa, like you said. But I actually want to see, opposite of Werner, I want to see Horde. I want to see Horde on the right. I want to see Werner. I want to start that way.
I would like that.
And then Skundrich and Sari in the middle. I know Villarreal's played well and he's doing well, but I think in this game, we need to be a little bit more forward thinking, and dropping a guy like Iwasa back, putting a guy like Bonomo up, just makes you a little bit more attacking minded going forward.
Yeah.
Now, that's not a discredit to Villarreal or any of the center midfielders that may be dropped because of that decision to put Bonomo back in the lineup. But yeah, the back line. Maybe Harris goes back in, but Tainer's coming off a great game in the middle too. Maybe Kynan gets a day off. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I think Tainer will be back out in the left, just because I think he offers more going forward on that wing, and we're going to need some
hard
pace
to take
on
him
the
out
side.
of the lineup right now, right?
It's really hard to take him out
No
of the
matter
lineup.
if you play him on the left or in the middle, he's earning his spot in the starting 11.
Well, and I think McCurry was great against Austin, but I don't think he adds enough going forward. And with Gomez playing out right, he doesn't really add a lot going forward either. So you're going to want one of those wing backs, kind of to give you a little option.
Someone to make an overlapping run that can swing a ball inside.
Absolutely. So I think Tainer gets back into that left back position. I think we have Harris and Kynan in the middle, and I think we have Gomez out right. I just think that's our best back line for the time being, at least right now.
Yeah, and you know what is it, 4 goals given up through 5 games?
Yeah.
So even though we've seen some different players getting in the 11, we've been able to maintain under a goal a game against, and that is spectacular. I think we have, 3 shutouts? Is it 3 shutouts now?
Sounds right. We'd have to fact check that, but sounds right.
At least 2. So, regardless, we need to up our goal scoring a little bit. We are playing a team that can score goals, but we are playing a team that can give up goals. Again, it seems like this is a broken record, but Republic FC is one of the stingiest teams in all of USL at giving up goals.
Well, and we have been for a couple seasons now. But this season especially, we've seen that back line even tighten up more. And so I think it's going to be a tough battle from both teams. We've already talked a bit about keys to the match. We talked a little about owning that possession and controlling the game a little bit. And you talked about some of the guys on Portland that we need to look out for. Is there one specific key, like one battle you're going to really look at for this match?
Yeah, I think it's Zambrano. Like you said, we touched on it a little bit, but I'm actually okay with, if Portland outpossesses us, I'm totally fine with that. It's just about when Zambrano or Williamson get the ball, they need to be going backwards or sideways. If they face up, they will cause us problems, and we will get scored on. If a guy like Skundrich, Iwasa, if he plays the 10, if we can close down those spaces and put pressure on their outside backs, or force them to play the ball back and just clear the ball into a 50-50 ball, that's where the game, in my opinion, will be won or lost this Saturday. Because Portland, like you said, they love to play their game. If they can't play their game, they get a little stifled. It's not really flowing, but when they can move the ball around between those 3 players in the middle, they can really create problems. So that's where I'm going to be focused on.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree 100% with you. I think it's going to be all about that midfield battle. So if we can dominate that and we can make those guys have to play backwards into the side and we can control that, should be a good game for us. We're just going to have to hope we can nick a few off, because like we talked about in many of the videos earlier, is we're just not having that final third. We're not having that creation like we'd like to in that final third. So we need to see that spark a little bit too here. And I think a key to this for me is also going to be seeing our front line be a little more creative going forward on this one.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to add on that. We need to see, no matter who our 3 up are on the top, even 4 if you count the 10, if it's a Wassa or someone else, we need to see some more movement, man. We got to see our wingers making those cutting runs inside. We need to see some overlaps. We just need to see a little bit more in terms of creativity in the final third, instead of just, play the ball, let's spray it wide and switch the field of play and then go 1v1. Yes, that's good, but we need a little bit more,
tenacity going forward.
Tenacity and variety. Variety in the attack. We don't have a single-headed goal.
No.
We don't have a single goal from a set piece.
I was just going to say that.
Or no, Villarreal's was a set piece. I am sorry.
With all the height and with everything we have in there, I kind of talked about this earlier too, with all the height and everything we have in there, we should be doing better from corners. We've looked better than we did last season.
The last game we were, even though Villarreal scored, our corners were pretty poor last game.
Yeah.
They were missing the mark. I know that we were trying to crowd the goalie, but it was like the ball kept being played too far. They finally got on the end of one. Warner to Villarreal, worked out.
Portland's definitely a team we can take advantage of the height in our back line and take advantage of like Hort even putting some crosses in and things like that to those guys. I think this is a team that we can take advantage on that.
Yeah.
What are you thinking on this game? I know that Portland gives up goals and they score a lot, so what's your score prediction?
I think that we go out there and we come away with a draw.
You thinking a draw on this one?
I think we come away with a draw.
That's fair.
Just because it's a road game, and that would not be a bad result whatsoever. I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to go with a 1-1, but I'm less confident as the more words come out of my mouth right now. You know what? We're winning this game.
Yeah?
I take it back completely.
All right.
That was the old Mark. This is the new Mark, all right? We're going to win.
Take two.
So it's 1-1, but we get a late winner. 2-1, we come home with the 3 points and first place in the Western Conference.
I like it. I'm going to go 3-1. I think we can really take advantage if we can get Bonomo back in the lineup.
We can counter
get Iwasa back in lineup. We talked about. I really think we can take advantage. This could even be that jumping off for some of the guys that haven't really sparked yet. Bonomo could get a goal in this one. Blackwood can get a goal in this one. It would really get us going. So I'm going to go with a 3-1. I think we can jump off on this one, but Portland will get one in.
I like to add that these are the opponents that I like us playing against. I don't like us playing against teams like Austin because I feel that when teams want to bog down a game against us, it works.
It does.
Because we haven't shown the consistency to move the ball inside the attacking third with decisive runs, cutting in, crosses. You know, we're much better on a counterattack or a free-flowing style of game.
Yeah.
Even before we scored, our best chance was the Blackwood when he cut in on kind of a counterattack, and also the Iwasa counterattack where he's weaving, he gets a hard shot on goal. I think that's when we're at our best, when we're running at teams. In the Seattle game, we looked our best when we pressed them, won the ball.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see a similar game to that, and that makes me as a fan of the Republic more comfortable for our chances.
Well, I can totally agree with that point, and I think that's what Portland offers, is because they are not going to sit back like Austin did. They are going to see,
at least we expect that.
We've
right?
scored 12 goals. We're going to go 4. This is a team that wants to play offensively.
Absolutely.
And I think we can take advantage of the...
And they're a 2 team.
Yeah,
and they want to show, like they want to play that way, right?
It'll make them a little bit vulnerable, and they have not kept a clean sheet, so it shows that they are vulnerable to being counterattacked, to being pressured after losing the ball and getting those turnovers and getting that nick one goal off here out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think we have guys that can really take advantage of that. We've seen Iwasa do that in the past already. I think Bonomo's strong enough of a center forward to be able to press and get that ball and make those turnovers and get those goals.
So you got 3-1, I got 2-1. Who do you think scores for us?
I think Bonomo's going to get on the score sheet.
You think he's going to get his first one, huh?
I think so. I think we'll get something from the back line.
You think Iwasa's like he's always likely, right?
Iwasa's always likely, but I think we'll get something from the back line. I think Kynan will get on one. If Tainter's in there, he might get
Maybe
on one.
Maybe from a set piece?
Yeah, from a set piece, from a free play,
yeah.
free kick. And then I think also, like you said, Iwasa's a big guy, but I would really like to see Blackwood in there getting something. I think this is a game where he can take advantage of his pace out on the wings. Like you said, we get one good breakaway. He had some great runs last game. They weren't met with the ball, but great runs off the ball. If he keeps doing that, he'll get one eventually that gets him in past that back line and gets him a goal. He could do that this game.
We're going to score twice. I have Iwasa scoring because, like, if we get a penalty, he's going to take it.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one that probably takes the most shots.
Very true, very true.
So I'll go with Iwasa, but I do like Bonomo to get his first one too. I'm in agreement with you. And I thought, he did some nice things this last game. He didn't start, but I thought when he came in for Skundridge, I thought he provided just a little bit, at least of a threat that we didn't have when it was, Iwasa was a little bit isolated in my opinion when he was by himself.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think it took a little bit of Iwasa to build into that role, but I almost like seeing him better sitting back a little bit in that attack.
Yeah, he's also, Iwasa's created our most chances this season. You know, he's not just a goal scorer. He can build up the play too, and he's at his best running with the ball at defenders. So even if he's not your classic number 10, he's at least more dangerous in a false 9 recessed forward position. So I can understand why Elliott likes to roll him out in that position.
Absolutely. Either way, it should be a very entertaining game.
I agree.
Very entertaining game. I can't talk today for some reason. Very entertaining game. I think it should be a game. There's going to be a good scoreline. It's going to be 3-1, 2-1. It's going to have a few goals in it. So for the neutrals, it's going to be interesting to watch as well. Anything else you want to add on to this before we finish?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know who you think should start the game, what you think the score might be, and of course, who you think might get on the score sheet. Other than that, subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell so you get all the notifications. And of course, share it with all your friends, all the Republic fans. We run into so many fans every week that just find out about us and they're like, oh, you guys have been doing these videos for 2 years?
Yeah.
That's cool. I never knew. So share it if you would. It would mean a lot to us. And of course, thanks for watching.
As always, guys, you can catch us at Old Glory Red Report on Facebook, at Instagram and Twitter. It's Old Glory Red. If you're watching it on YouTube, you already know that's also Old Glory Red Report. Thanks for watching these videos. We appreciate it. Mark Anthony here, KCJ over here. We appreciate it so much. Until next time, peace.